Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am here today to talk about how I'm recovering from sepsis. If you didn't see my previous video on me being hospitalized for sepsis, I will put that below. But just to give you a little bit of background, I went for a few months with this weird, unknown stoma pain is what I called it. I have an ileostomy bag on my right side for Crohn's disease, a GI disorder, and the pain was literally right behind my stoma. So I was assuming that I was having blockages or that I had adhesions. I wasn't really sure. My GI doctor thought it was adhesions, and I have an upcoming surgery to take out my colon, so we thought, okay, we'll just take care of it then. So I kept ignoring the pain. I was taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, stuff like that to get through the really painful episodes, but what I didn't know is that it had nothing to do with my intestines. It was my right kidney kind of brewing a little infection there, and eventually it just took over and I went septic. I'm very fortunate because that kidney pain, has now resolved. I don't feel any pain on my right side, which I'm so grateful because there were points where I couldn't walk because it hurt so badly. I didn't know how bad kidney pain was, and now I've heard from many that it is quite awful, and I felt it myself and it was quite awful. The other problem that I was having for weeks, months before, everything came to fruition, was that I was having nausea. I was using Zofran, promethazine, anything that I could just to get through the day because I was so nauseated. A few episodes of gagging, a few episodes of throwing up randomly, didn't know why, and of course because of that my appetite was basically non-existent, and that really blew. I'm very fortunate because that nausea has disappeared and my appetite has finally returned, which is awesome because unfortunately I lost about 6 pounds in the hospital. I have no problem sharing details of my life with you. Before I weighed about 94, 95 pounds. Don't be afraid, I am about 5 feet tall, so I'm very, if you know me in person, you know that. But I, in the hospital, got down to about 88 pounds, which I haven't seen in a really long time. And so having my appetite back is really helpful. So I'm gonna go through some of the things I am doing since I got out of the hospital to kind of get better and get back to life. So the first thing is I stopped taking Humira. Humira is an immunosuppressant drug, and I needed all the immune system I could so I could fight off this kidney infection, which, if I didn't tell you guys, wound up being E. coli. So I stopped taking the Humira. I have been officially given the okay to take it again from my GI doctor. I have not yet because I have a little tiny cold and I just don't want to feed that. So I'm waiting until this nasaliness goes away and then I'm going to restart Humira. I also made sure that I was taking the antibiotic after they switched it to oral. Made sure that I was taking it on time and I did not miss a single dose. I did have an incident in the hospital where a nurse basically forgot to give it to me for 5 hours while I was sleeping, and yes, I reported it to the hospital. It was pretty bad, but I wanted to make sure that I stayed on top of that and didn't screw myself over by getting, drug resistance, which is very, very common because people love to use antibiotics now. I also increased my fluids. I truly rely on electrolyte supplements or oral rehydration solutions, so I am downing the Drip Drop, downing the Noon, downing the H2ORS, All of them. All of them. I just make sure I get all the fluids I can during the day, because having an ileostomy bag, I unfortunately get dehydrated much quicker. I'm also staying up to par on my vitamins and all my supplements, which I'm excited. I have a review coming for you guys for a IBD specific supplement, and makes my life 3,000% easier because it is 1 instead of 85. Can't wait to share it with you. But I'm just making sure that I'm getting all that stuff because I was low on potassium in the hospital and had to get the most painful potassium infusion, and I was low on iron, so I had to take my iron supplements. So I was just keeping on top of that stuff, and like I said, I will be posting a video soon about that. I have also been eating, which is great because I have my appetite back. And one of the things that I do when I am trying to kind of boost my calories, boost my weight a little bit, is I use MyFitnessPal. They have all the different foods on there, like you could look up anything like a Taco Bell burrito, or I don't know, what other foods are there? You could literally look up anything though, type it in, and it'll give you the calorie amount for it. And I'm very happy to say that I am hitting my calorie goal for the day, which I haven't done in a really long time. So I'm so happy about that. I'm also making sure that I am getting my protein because that helps with healing, and so I'm making sure that I'm staying up on my protein as well. I have been resting. I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad at that. You guys have seen on Instagram that 4 days after I got out of the hospital, I went to Atlantic City on a trip, which was it smart? Probably not. But I paid a lot of money to be there a long time ago, and I didn't want to waste it. So I went, I ate my heart out in Atlantic City, but now I am taking it easy, resting, napping when I need to. Naps are the best, naps are great. Give them the credit that they deserve because they're pretty great. Opposed to the resting side of things, I am exercising, and no, I am not running a marathon. Have never done that in my life. Don't really plan on it anytime soon. But I'm doing little things like cleaning the house, or walking the dogs, or just even going out to the barn and checking things out, or going out to the yard and feeding the chickens. Like really simple things, but then kind of working it up as I go along. So it was things like that that are fun. I even got to do a little bit of raking and like tiny bit of yard work for my garden. So simple things like that are really helping me get back to it, and I'm just amazed how much more energy I have now that I'm not fighting a bad kidney. It's amazing. I really didn't know that I was sick until I knew that I was sick. And the last thing that I'm doing ultimately is to get back into my routine, get back to work, doing the things that I like to do, the hobbies, doing the things I need to do, because that's good mentally for you. Just getting out of the house, going to the grocery store, simple things like that, rather than just sitting around watching TV, which is really easy to do. And yes, I get sucked into it quite a bit, but I don't want to allow myself to go down that hole. So I'm getting myself back to work. Running a meeting tonight. We're going full swing, and we're not letting a stupid old sepsis dealio affect us that hard. I know not everybody can say that. I'm very fortunate that we caught it when we did, and I am really good now. I feel really good, way better than I did even 2 or 3 months ago, so I'm very grateful for that. But those are basically the things that I'm doing to recover and get back to life after being hospitalized for severe sepsis. And obviously I am checking my temperature, making sure the pain is not returning, making sure I'm not peeing blood again. So hopefully if you have also battled sepsis, maybe this gave you some ideas for getting back to your normal routine. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next. Bye.
La, la.